Hi everybody, it's Kat, and I am ready to cook up some poblano peppers. This is a recipe that I've never tried before, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and I hope it comes out really good. If it comes out good, I'll put this video up, and then you'll know that it came out good. So anyway, I'm going to try to stay relatively simple, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so here's my poblano peppers. I had 4, but I love to share, so I gave 2 to my older son, and I kept 2, and I'm going to stuff them. And so what I'm going to use is, I'm actually going to use some quinoa. I was going to use some brown rice, and I used it all, and I didn't want to use the white rice. So I wanted to up my protein a little bit, so I'm going to use some quinoa. And also, let's see here, I'm going to use a half an onion. I've got about six little white tomato, these aren't tomatoes, mushrooms, and I'm going to chop those up. I've got about 5 sun-dried tomatoes. They're organic, and I'm going to actually put them in a little bullet and chop them up really fine. And then I've got a can here of the diced fire roasted tomatoes. This is not organic, but anyways, I've got them in here, and what I'm going to need to do is add a ½ cup of water on top of that to help make up the difference that the quinoa needs to cook. Because I'm going to use 1 cup of this, and I'm going to add this can here plus a ½ cup of water. And this can is 14½ ounces of tomatoes. Then I'm going to be using, and I wrote my little notes so I won't forget, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, a ½ teaspoon of cracked red pepper, and 2 teaspoons of a no salt seasoning. So I've got them all mixed up in here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do with all this stuff. Oh, and I'm going to grab some black beans. I also had some black beans left that I'm going to be using, and I'm probably going to use about a cup of those, and I'm going to have a lot of leftover filling, I think, but anyway, for the ease of putting this together, 1 cup of black beans, and I may put in about a ¼ cup of shredded Daiya cheddar when it's all done and I'm stuffing them so that they'll melt. It'll melt in there. So let's see. Let's get started. Okay, so here's the onions. I've been toasting them, and just you could use a teaspoon of olive oil, or you could use about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. Here I just went ahead and used a teaspoon of olive oil. I don't use a lot of olive oil, so I thought, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and go for that. But I don't think I even needed it in here. Actually, I think that the onions, it's a no-stick pan, and I think they would have sweated just fine without it. But anyways, okay, so I've added my my mushrooms. Why can't I get the name of that right? They are mushrooms, Kat. Okay, and next I'm going to add in the can of tomatoes with the 1/2 cup of water, and I'm going to lower the heat down to just less than a medium right now. It's really hot, and I don't want it overcooking. I want the flavors to kind of like meld together just a little bit. So next I'm going to add the 5 little sun-dried tomatoes, which you can see I kind of ground them up into almost a seasoning of sorts. And so that's going to get mixed in as well. And then I'm going to add in the seasoning flavors, the garlic powder, the cumin. What else did we have in here? The no salt seasoning and the chili, crushed chilies. Okay, so, oh boy, this already smells so good. And into that, I'm going to actually go ahead and add in the cup of already cooked black beans. Those were organic. And guess what? A funny little story. Oh my goodness. You know, if you saw my other video, you saw that my can opener broke when I was trying to open up the can yesterday. And I forgot to go to the store and buy another one, so I was left with the same old doggone broken can opener and a wrench to try to open it up. So I opened the can of tomatoes that way. I promise you I'm going to go get a new can opener today. I felt like I was changing the oil on my car. Okay, so now that I've got all this wonderful goodness in the pan, I'm going to add in my quinoa, about a cup of quinoa, and that's the regular one. I guess you could use the red one if you want. And I'm just going to mix it in really good, and then I'm going to put it on simmer, and I'm going to cover it. Okay, so while that's cooking on simmer, I just basically rubbed down the poblano peppers with a little bit of coconut oil, and usually people will use like a spray oil and spray them down, and I hope this works. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in under the broiler under high heat for a few minutes. When they start turning a little brown, I'll turn them over. So I just kept watching these over about 20 minutes time and turning them under the high heat. And so I have to be real careful because I don't want to break them. But they just got nice and tender and blistery. So what I'm going to do next is take some gloves and then peel them and run them under some cold water a little bit, and then peel them a little bit more. Okay, so this has been cooking about 25 minutes, and it takes a little longer to do the quinoa this way because it's got to soak through all the tomatoes and all the other stuff. But it smells amazing, and this is what I'm going to use to stuff my peppers. Now what I did with the peppers was I ran them under some cold water, and I used a glove to help, I know they don't look so hot now, but to peel them because I heard that the peppers could really irritate your skin, and took out all of the little seeds as well. So now I'm going to stuff them with my goodies and stick them in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to put my half a cup of shredded Daiya cheese into this mixture, and you don't have to do that, but I just like a little bit of cheesiness in there. And I'm going to have way more than I need to stuff these peppers, so you can have a nice little side accompaniment. Go! Okay, and here are the finished peppers, and I forgot to mention that before I closed the quinoa and set it to cook with all the goodies in it, I actually added in another half a cup of water just to make sure I had plenty for it to absorb. So in addition to the can of tomatoes, you're going to add 1 cup of water. Okay, not a half a cup. So anyway, here they are. They're beautiful. They're totally stuffed, and I'm going to put them in the oven just to warm up. I'm also going to put some Daiya mozzarella shreds on top just because I think it looks pretty, and gussy it up a little bit. And honestly, this is just a protein-packed, vegan, wonderful meal, and I can't wait to have it for dinner. Alright, so I will put the recipe in the description bar. It's really good. My husband's really loving these. I will warn you though, those poblanos are pretty spicy. So I would have like a glass of cold almond milk maybe on hand. If you like something really spicy and you're looking for something Southwest, you're really going to like this. All right, I'll see you later.